Hello everyone and welcome. This is International Master and FIDE Trainer Prathamesh Mokal, and today I'm going to show you how to make a new database in ChessBase and save games in it in order to show your coach or maybe do self-study in the future. So let's go to ChessBase. Whatever version of ChessBase you're having, you will generally have similar functions. So here I'm going to ChessBase and I'm going to create a new database. The option is over here, or you can go to the application file menu. You will also find make a new database option over here. So I'm clicking on the new database option right here. Now you get the folder name where your database is going to be placed. Remember this folder name, documents, ChessBase, my work, because that's where you will find different files related to whatever the new database that you make. So let me name this an example database. Let's create the database. So now here you can see the database is created. It's a very dry database. There is no clarity on what it is based on. So you can do different things with the database by right clicking on it. You can search in it. Of course, right now it's empty, so the search will not reveal anything, opening reference, etc., etc. What we are interested in right now is going to properties and giving it a new symbol, a new picture. So here we got unspecific database. We go to work database. So we could give this symbol to the database. You can see that it's a nice idea. You have a hammer and a board over here to show you're working on it. You could make it a large database, which is also an interesting symbol. You can see the pile up of all the tiles to show that how large it is a database. The one we are going to make though is my games. Now you can see the heart over here. Of course, my games close to your heart. So you can make this as the default symbol. So open the database, double click on it. You see an empty database window right now. Click on the board at the top. And here you go. You have a chessboard over here. So you have the notation on the right. You have different tabs over here to use if you really need to. But right now for saving the game, we don't need the tabs. Let me show for an example how we save a game. Let me play over the moves. We got, for example, e4, e5, knight f3, knight c6, bishop b5, a6, bishop a4, knight f6, castle. Okay, now 5 moves entered, bishop e7. So bishop e7, main line of the Rai Lopez, we are going forward with it. But wait, suppose you suddenly remember that, oh, you look at the score sheet and you say, oh no, my opponent did not play bishop e7. He played bishop c5. What to do? So two options. One is to mouse click on castle, taking the bishop back. Or if you don't want, you can use the keyboard function, the back arrow on your keyboard, and go one step back. Then you can enter bishop c5. And you get a series of options. You can make bishop c5 a new variation. But if that is the move that happened in the game, then you would want to make it a new main line. Although remember, you can always change the things. Like here, suppose you make it a new main line. Bishop e7 will go to the sideline, right? For example, let me make it a main line. Bishop e7 now goes to the sideline. But you can just right click and promote bishop e7 to make it the main game if you feel that was what it was played in your game. You can also do this with the symbols over here. You can see there is promote variation option over here. You can click on it and bishop e7 becomes the main move. Now bishop c5 is a move you can delete from here, or all the symbols that are here, that important parts, the same things will be available. If you just right click on any move, you will have all the options, delete variation and all the annotations that are there below. So let's say instead of bishop e7, we wanted to put bishop c5, but we do not want bishop e7 at all. So we could just overwrite, right? If you overwrite, bishop e7 disappears, bishop c5 is in the list. If you want to put bishop e7, if you had it in a new variation and you want to delete it after that, as I showed you, you use the delete variation symbol. So now after bishop c5, let's say white goes c3, and you want to enter a text that I knew the opening till here. So then down here below, there are options: promote variation, delete remaining moves. For example, if bishop c5 is where the game ends and you by mistake you have entered a move, then you press on delete variation, delete remaining moves, and the remaining moves of this, whatever variation you are on, will get deleted. For example, here, if after bishop c5 you had bishop e7 and c3, just for example, and castle, and you want to stop at bishop e7, you do delete remaining moves, then the remaining moves of this variation will only be deleted, not the other ones of the main variation. So delete remaining moves. You got bishop e7 here. Okay. Now I don't want this, so I'll just delete variation as well. So bishop c5, c3. Now you can enter text before move. Below here you have text before move. You can also right click and you can have text before move and whatever options you want. And you can enter text before move text, or you can just cancel this and you can enter text after move and say that here ends my opening theory. Okay, this is a note you write for yourself for your own reference that this was the move till which I knew the opening. Then you go further, you go castle, and whatever the number of moves you have played, you enter them, and then finally you have it's time to enter the result. By the way, you can also use the symbols over here. Very good move, double exclamation, good move. You hover over the symbols and you will see what exactly each symbol means. If you want to add more symbols that are not present in the palette below, there is an option. You go to insert and find an annotation palette, right? And here you have some more options like with the idea of and so on, and some more possibilities which you can use. Okay, so here I'm going to end it. Let's say now you want to save your game. So the option over here is a floppy disk over here. I don't know if the new generation is updated with the knowledge of what a floppy disk looks like. But if you have the idea and you have some knowledge of how the computers and the CDs and Blu-rays developed, you may be knowing this symbol. If you don't know the symbol anyway, you always have the menu option. You go to the file application menu and save game or save as, depending on what you want to choose. So I'm going to click here. Now it says save and it shows the arrow where it's going to save. This player name example is the database that we made, right? So here you enter the details. Now let's say white player, last name A, first name B, black player, last name C, first name D, tournament. Now you can enter the tournament name and you can go into the details here to enter tournament details like general, like what category it is, how many rounds there were. I can enter that. Usually you would have a 9-round tournament, whether it's a rapid tournament or a blitz tournament. It's a normal classical tournament, whether team tournament or not, whether there are any special cases like 3 points were a win or not. You can enter the place of the tournament, like the city. I would enter Delhi, or for example, just to be clear, or you could enter New York. And just if there is any other information that you have, then you can enter nation and so on. So once you do that, you click on OK. You get the tournament. The details are there out there. The ECO code is often grasped by ChessBase itself. The ECO codes were useful at the time of the informators and so on, when people used to study chess and find games according to the ECO code. So you enter the rating for white, whatever it is. If you're unrated, you click 0. If your opponent is rated, you type his rating, you enter the result 1, 0, or it's sometimes plus minus if you get a walkover, if you have a buy over here, or it's just you want to show the evaluation, or over here there are options here, plus minus and so on. Round, you enter first round. Sub round, now sub round is actually useful if it's a match. If you're playing a match of 5 games and first sub round is one round, one game, second game, and so on. Or sometimes players and myself have entered the table number over here. Like I would like to know I was seeded 25th, so the table number is 35, and I have saved this game. So now you click on OK, and your game gets saved. Where to find it? Close it. Go to the database, player name example. Here you find the games. Your AB white, black is CD. Result is 1, 0. You have entered the yellow. No yellow for white because white is unrated. So tournament is in New York. Tournament E, New York. It shows E as the tournament title that I gave and New York as the place. Then there is a date. VCS is about the annotations. Round number. So we've given 1.35. If you don't want to put the table number, that's totally understandable. You can just make it 1, remove the 30.35 sub round. Medals is something that we come later to, not right now. Annotator is whoever the computer belongs to, or you have mentioned as the author. So now let's say I want to show you one more important point. Let's say you want to save another game. Now what happens is you are black, so you flip the board and you enter the next game. Suppose it is the Slav defense that happens in your next game. C4, C6, knight F3, knight F6, knight C3, DC4, and here you want to save your game. So there is one important point to remember over here, when you click on save, you will see that the tournament details are already entered, right? E-tournament. And if you go to the details are already there. So this happens by default. The previous tournament game that you have saved, the next game will come up with the same tournament details. Now what to do if you are going to start entering a new tournament? You press reset over here. Everything gets reset, or else you go into the details and you change the name, you change the place. People sometimes forget to do this. My students have done that and they have wondered, why does my tournament still show New York when I'm actually playing in Delhi? Okay, so this is what you do. You reset, you change the things over here, and in a similar way you save the game of round 2. Let's say Z and M, whatever you want. You enter the LO. Suppose both are unrated, whatever. You got the sub round, you got the round to 2 now. You get the result, whatever, draw, today, year, and you save your game. So now you've got this. Okay, now you've got 2 games saved, and both are of the same tournament, right? You can sort the game according to ECO code. You can sort the game according to number of moves. Let's say I click on moves. Once again, you go 4th. Round 2 goes up because number of moves is less, 4, 7. You can sort the games according to the ELO rating. See, 1970, so it goes up. Higher ELO rating goes up right now. If you click on it again, it changes the order and so on. So behold, I mean, this is the database that is ready. You can show your games to your coach. You can keep them from self-study. You can write notes to your games. You can write symbols, and that will be really nice. You can sometimes you can write your timing on the score sheet, and you can enter that after the moves when text after move option. Okay. All right, so that's it about making the database a new database and saving your games. And you get a long list of games, and it feels really nice that you have so many games to analyze. You have them at just at one click. You know who the opponents are, players are, the tournaments, the ECO codes, the number of moves, results, everything in one go. I have a database of around 500, 600 games. A lot of grandmasters have databases of thousands of games. And it is amazing to look back at them and to see what you wrote. So it's really nice to write notes. Then when you look back after a few years, it's nice to see what you're thinking as well, right? Okay, those are the tips for making a new database and saving your games. That's it for today. If you like the video, click the like button, subscribe, and you can comment if you want any more information. Thank you for watching the video. Goodbye.